Peace. Peace to the gods, peace to the earths, and peace to all the positive people out there in the universe. INFMEGA here building with you. Last year sometime, I met the Earth Nrich True Peace Earth at the god Hashim and his Earth Umi Sudam's rest in Dallas, Texas. We built on a few topics dealing with the relationship between God and Earth. In that conversation, we built on the signs of polygyny, the lies that some of us tell in our relationship, domestic violence, and more. Now, there are some of us that advocate polygynous relationships, and some of us that don't. Some of us haven't grown enough to be completely honest in our relationship. And there are some of us that are currently dealing with domestic violence in our relationship. So I found this conversation to be extremely useful to our nation, as well as those just doing the knowledge to this channel. It is a conversation that often gets swept under the rug, yet needs to be continued and developed amongst us so that we can get to the best part, which is the understanding. Before releasing these videos, I sent them to the God, Lord Hashim and his Earth, as well as Nrich to review. They okayed them to be released. Lord Hashim and his Earth Umi Sudam had a few things to say before they were officially released.
So with that being said, what I will say, this coming from one perspective, meaning my cipher. I've always felt that a lot of the things that we go through in the nation, and a lot of things we go through as far as being God and Earth, have a lot to do with male and female relationships. And it would seem that we would have it all together. But in a lot of instances, we're just learning, how to deal with these different situations in life. Dealing with relationships, dealing with honesty, dealing with being forthright, being transparent with one another. Those are very, very pertinent foundations that we should be able to deal with. And it seems like we would have it right because we have supreme mathematics. But far so often we get it wrong because we deal in more of an emotional state than we deal with fact. So with these particular videos, it was more of just a candid, impromptu, us talking and building like we do. We'll take certain degrees and we'll just build on it, and everything that would be relevant to that degree will come out in our morning coffee talks with me and my Earth, our coffee bills. And then, we've often thought, well, some of these bills need to be on recorded so that people know that, we go through real life situations every day, and everything that we're dealing with is in mathematics and dealing with 120 lessons. But we don't talk about these things. So I think that sometimes these things need to be talked about. They need to be aired out. We dealt with, in these particular videos, this set of videos, we dealt with relationships and problem situations that we deal with every day. Such as polygyny, such as infidelity, such as being truthful, being transparent. How do we move with one another as far as talking things out? We ran the gambit on, things that are relevant to our everyday lives and just living practical. So I think that it's important that these videos are listened to and understood. This is how I see it. My Earth and myself, I support strong relationships. I don't care if that relationship is monogamous or polygynous. However it's going to be, of course we don't deal in anything that's unnatural. But if that relationship is healthy and founded on the principles of supreme mathematics, then we support it. I support it. And that starts first in my home.
Okay. Well, that's peace, God. Anything the Earth wanted to add, or?
Peace.
Peace, God.
Peace, Earth.
Just in short, we deal with the interactions and relationships of people. In specific, we were speaking about man and woman. I just ask that all people listening, listen from a righteous place, not from a savage, uncivilized perspective, and take into consideration the real situations and circumstances that we are facing as original people here in the wilderness of North America, and really listen to and look and do the knowledge to those videos in the context of exploring solutions and remedies that can help bring us to a place of resolve, because we can continue in the same cycle, or we can make a decision, to stop the cycle and go in a different direction. And so often the way that we've handled relationships haven't resulted in strong, unified, original families, which is a vital building block of our nation. It's resulted in man and woman not being together, being at odds against one another, children being born, not having both parents, children not having access to their siblings. And so just in trying to, we say nation building, but that's more than a cliche or a term of endearment. It's a reality that has to be acted upon every day, each and every way. This is the wisdom day. And so it has to be talked about. And then once it's talked about, and, wisdom is good judgment. So once we've talked about it and we've reasoned about the topic, then we have to come to a place of being able to make good judgment on how do we move forward, because the reality is these circumstances exist, and so often we live them out, but we live them out in behind smoke and mirrors and a fine mist, whereas we should be operating in the highlight of the sun, like we're walking in noon in the middle of our downtown city centers, wherever we reside. We should be able to be confident and proud in our relationships and our situations, that we are able to move with a higher esteem. And so I think if we could get our relationships addressed and healed, that gives us some room to start really working through these other issues, because it's going to take both he and her to make this thing work. And so willfully people listen and absorb the information, and it starts dialogue amongst them personally or within their ciphers, so that we can start the work of getting back to unified families, man, woman, and child, versus God over here and a couple of different women, scattered across a vast area. So if polygyny isn't the thing that you're cool with, cool, that's fine. But be open-minded to the idea and the conversation, because the conversations definitely mirror the issues that are being faced in monogamous relationships. So with that, I would say peace.
Peace, Earth. I appreciate you both, Lord Hashim and Umi Sudam. And I look forward to building with y'all in the very near future, in sound as well as in person.
Indeed, God. Very soon, God. Very soon.